Nanita Ditto had never imagined life outside of the rural farm where she grew up until a life-changing opportunity presented itself. She was born in the Philippines in 1958 as the oldest of 7 children. Her family lived on a farm which grew rice, vegetables, fruits, and nuts. They also raised many animals like goats, horses, caribou, and dogs. She loved watching her mother tend to the crops. Her life was simple. Despite the lack of technology, everyone kept each other company and would play music and dance. The communal lifestyle of the village was very safe and everyone knew each other. Everyone helped everyone. Nanita, however, did not want to participate in this. Occasionally, Nanita would pick and husk corn for herself. She would boil it and hide in the cornfield so she didn't have to share. Nanita didn't want to work on the farm, so she went to school instead. She learned to speak Itawis, Ibanog, and English, and soon grew to love learning. After high school, she got her associate's degree in college. She had no plans to leave the Philippines at this point, but soon an opportunity arose. A friend told Nanita about working in Hong Kong as a nanny for an American family. Although Nanita was only 18, she jumped at the chance and immediately applied for a passport. She would be living in a large city with electricity and lots of people for the first time, and she had to ride in a plane to get there. Before Nanita left, she cut her long hair. She wanted to make a drastic change to suit her new life in Hong Kong. This symbolic act helped her to shed her old lifestyle and begin her new life with a fresh start. Traditionally, the oldest child stays home to take care of the parents, so because Nanita was leaving, she gave the bundle of hair to her mother as a memento. The time finally came for Nanita to fly to Hong Kong. Upon arrival, she was shocked by the scale of the buildings in the city. When she first went to the grocery store, she was appalled that she had to pay money for the same food that she used to grow in the garden at home. Despite the culture shock, she quickly adjusted and started working right away. She also enrolled in college classes so she could learn in her spare time. She took Cantonese and computer classes and studied to be a teacher because she liked working with kids. In her free time, she would go to the disco and club with her friends. For 5 years, she lived the single life before meeting the love of her life. He caught her eye at a Chinese restaurant and came over to exchange phone numbers and mailing addresses. His name was Charles, and he was the cook in the U.S. Navy that had been docked in Hong Kong. The same week that Nanita and Charles met, Charles's ship left to go back to the U.S. They never had the chance to go on a date. Charles and Nanita maintained a long-distance relationship, sending love letters and calling each other every day. Although it was expensive to send so many letters and make long-distance calls, it was worth it for Nanita. For 9 years, Nanita lived on her own in Canada, living the single life while Charles was away. Charles eventually came to Canada to propose to Nanita, and a year later they married in Charles's home state, Kentucky. Shortly after, Charles was deployed to Westpac in Sydney, Australia. When Charles returned, he was stationed in San Diego, and Nanita followed him there. A year after moving to San Diego, Nanita and Charles had their son, Nathan. Nanita applied for U.S. citizenship soon after.